to make the world think that we're different, think that we're holy, think that we're transformed. We've covered ourselves up with all sorts of meaningless trinkets and rituals that, in our own heads, permit us to show one thing, yet be another. We put Jesus Saves bumper stickers on our cars so we don't feel as bad about driving 80 miles per hour on the interstate. We listen to Christian radio during our morning commutes so we don't feel as bad about watching Desperate Housewives the night before. We post uplifting churchy things on our Facebook pages so we don't feel as bad about routinely belittling our kids. You get the idea. Fortunately or unfortunately, the world is watching, and our ridiculous actions aren't fooling anyone. Those who don't know Christ aren't buying the act. In fact, they're ignoring it. Following Jesus has become to them like a high school variety show, complete with dated costumes, cheesy songs, and bad acting. I think it's time to change that perception. Your impact and mine on our friends, family, and coworkers has nothing to do with the sayings on our bumpers or the symbols around our necks. It has nothing to do with the number of Bible verses we tweet or the biblical names we give our kids. It has nothing to do with how many times we go to church or how often we put money in the offering plate. Rather, sharing Jesus with today's culture has everything to do with being personally branded by Christ, with being forever changed by Jesus, with being permanently marked by our Savior. I can't promise you the process won't hurt a little, but I can promise you that it will be well worth it. Chapter 1. Caught Off Guard. Why Branded was Written. If you've been sucked into the worlds of Facebook and Twitter like I have, you know these social networking websites are good for two things. 1, reuniting with family, professional contacts, and old friends. And 2, wasting excessive amounts of time. Personally, I've done plenty of both. I've connected with hundreds of people I knew from grade school. I've kept in touch with relatives who live in other parts of the country. I've learned that I'm most like Chandler from Friends, and that if I were a state, I'd be Wyoming. Apparently, I'm square and boring too. A few months ago, I received a startling Facebook message from an old high school friend. He and I weren't particularly close, but we played quite a bit of basketball together. I'll call him Alan. Alan had quietly been following my status updates and blog. Seeing that I was fairly verbal about my Christian faith, Alan said that he too was compelled to share his personal belief system with me. Talk about being caught off guard. As a follower of Christ, wasn't it me who was supposed to be sharing my faith with him? Wasn't I the one who was supposed to be seeking out people who didn't share my beliefs? Wasn't my message the one commonly called the greatest story ever told? In a lengthy collection of paragraphs, Alan shared that in the years following our time in high school, he had become an agnostic. He explained that he just couldn't bring himself to believe in an entity, quote, of which there is no evidence. Just as you cannot disprove a monster I claim to have seen, I cannot disprove a God in which you believe. I feel you have more to learn from somebody like me than from a mindless follower who follows the Christian faith simply because they were brought up in it and never really thought about it. Maybe so. If I hadn't realized it already, I realized it after that message from Alan. Christianity's monopoly of the faith marketplace has slipped away. Sadly, most Christians haven't noticed. Many don't even seem to care. It used to be that people believed something to be true because the Bible said it was. It used to be that spirituality was synonymous with Christianity. It used to be. Alan is the perfect example of this cultural shift. He wrote it this way: I was raised attending church, but I remember independently thinking religion was hogwash very early in life. I just wonder if you've ever really wondered why you believe it, the Bible, as literal. I don't think we choose to believe. I think we just believe. But at some point, we reevaluate and really think for ourselves. He isn't alone in his sentiments, not by a long shot. Unlike a generation or two ago, these days the Christian faith has significant competition. Lots of it. Kabbalah, Scientology, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism. Even atheists and agnostics like Alan have faith, though it's in the idea that there either is no God or that he can't be proven. It seems many Christians wish this type of spiritual competition would suddenly go away. They wish life could go back to how it used to be, when people believed in the God of the Bible just because. They wish they didn't have to engage in difficult conversations with people like Alan who ask hard questions. If you are one of these people, let me warn you, this book is full of hard questions. And, ironically, it's not full of answers, at least not specific ones. If you're looking for an evangelism instruction manual or a how-to checklist, you'll want to turn this off and find something else. I'm convinced that checklists are a part of the problem, not the solution. For years, Christians have blindly, yet with good intentions, stuck their heads